Well, the Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh sent a reminder to Pakistan while informing them that India knows about their Sir Creek build-up. He said that Pakistan should know that Sir Creek is also in our route to Karachi. Pakistan should also remember how easily accessible Karachi is to the Indian Navy. Let's tell you what happened in 1971. Well, Operation Trident was an offensive operation launched by the Indian Navy in Karachi in 1971. The port of Karachi housed the headquarters of the Pakistan Navy. Operation Trident saw the first use of anti-ship missiles in combat in this region. Almost the entire fleet of Pakistan was based in Karachi harbour. The hammering that Pakistan received in 1971 was despite the fact that all of Pakistan's frigates, destroyers and submarines were based in Karachi. The Indian Naval Headquarters in Delhi, along with the Western Naval Command, planned to attack the port of Karachi. A strike group under Western Naval Command was formed for this mission, and the strike group was to be based around the 3 Vidyut class missile boats already deployed off the coast of Okha. As the Pakistani fleet would also operate in the same waters, the Indian Navy set a demarcation line that ships in their fleet would not cross. Later, this deployment proved useful for gaining experience in the region's waters. And on 3rd December, after Pakistan attacked Indian airfields along the border, the Indo-Pakistani War of 1971 officially began. On 4th December, what was now designated as the Karachi Strike Group was formed and consisted of the 3 Vidyut class missile boats INS Nipat, INS Nirghat and INS Fear, each armed with 4 Soviet-made SSN-2B Styx surface-to-surface missiles with a range of 40 nautical miles. 2 Arnala class anti-submarine corvettes INS Kiltan and INS Kachal and a fleet tanker INS Poshak were also deployed. The group was under the command of Commander Babru Bhan Yadav, the commanding officer of the 25th Missile Boat Squadron. And as planned, on the 4th of December, the strike group reached 250 nautical miles south of the coast of Karachi and maintained its position during the day outside the surveillance range of the Pakistan Air Force. As Pakistani aircraft did not possess night bombing capabilities, it was planned that the attack would take place between dusk and dawn. At 10:30 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time, the Indian task group moved 180 nautical miles from its position towards the south of Karachi. Soon, Pakistani targets identified as warships were detected 70 nautical miles to the northwest and northeast of the warships. And more about this as well. Well, this led to an explosion in the first boiler room. Subsequently, the ship lost propulsion and was flooded with smoke. Observing that the ship was still afloat, Nirghat fired its second missile, hitting Khyber in the second boiler room on the ship's starboard side, eventually sinking the ship and killing 222 sailors. And after verifying 2 targets in the area northwest of Karachi at 11 p.m., INS Nipat fired 2 Styx missiles, 1 each at cargo vessel MV Venus Challenger and its escort PNS Shah Jahan, a C-class destroyer Challenger carrying ammunition for the Pakistani forces. Well, more was to come in this destruction, which of course went on. Meanwhile, INS Nipat continued towards Karachi and targeted the Kamari oil storage tanks, placing itself 14 nautical miles south of the Karachi harbour. 2 missiles were launched, 1 misfired, but the other hit the oil tanks, which burned and was destroyed completely, causing a Pakistani fuel shortage. Such was the confusion in Pakistan forces that due to a false alarm on the 6th of December 1971, which incorrectly reported a frigate of the Pakistani Navy as an Indian Navy missile boat, the PNHQ requested a Pakistan Air Force airstrike on the supposed Indian ship. At 6:45 a.m., fighter jets were scrambled and strafed the vessel before it was identified as the frigate PNS Zulfikar. Well, in fact, with no casualties on the Indian side, this operation was a great success. To mark its victory, the Indian Navy annually celebrates Navy Day on the 4th of December. All right, well, it's important to understand history to put a context as to how easy it was for India to defend this area the last time a skirmish happened. Commodore Anil J. Singh is back with us. Sir, I hope you can hear me.
I can hear you. I hope you can hear me as well.
Loud and clear, sir. So you already know what context we are into. Pakistan trying to, in fact, provoke India, instigate India in a different area. But, by putting out these remarks and the monologue that you just heard, I was just trying to convey that this is not a path that Pakistan should go down.
I absolutely agree with what you're saying, as General Katoch also brought out earlier in the program when he was speaking, that, Pakistan would try and provoke the Indian Navy to its own folly, frankly speaking. In fact, you gave a very detailed description of what happened in Op Trident on the night of 3rd and 4th December. Well, let me tell you, in the 50 odd years since, the asymmetry between the Indian Navy and the Pakistan Navy in terms of capability, in terms of numbers, in terms of just about every parameter, comparable parameter, has only grown. It hasn't narrowed. It has widened. So if Pakistan were to sort of try and open a front from Karachi, they would pay a very heavy price for it. I think they should be grateful that they got a reprieve in Op Sindoor, where India agreed to their ceasefire and did not prolong the conflict for another couple of days. Had we done so, perhaps, and the Navy had opened up on Karachi, Karachi is an economic center for them. It's their major deep water port. All their trade comes in and goes out from that port, most of it now. They would be economically really on the back foot. It happened in Kargil. In Kargil, India did not fire a single shot. The Indian Navy did not fire a single shot. But we had virtually brought Pakistan's economy to its knees. Its oil supplies were down to a few days. So India holds all the cards when it comes to opening a front from the sea. As far as Sir Creek is concerned, I think, this is probably a diversionary kind of thing for Pakistan, like they did in 65, for what General Sudhakar mentioned about the Kutch, what we call the Kutch problem at that time, before the 65 war happened. And I think, the dispute about Sir Creek is more than just about an estuary or a narrow creek of water. It's about many other things. It's about the EZ. This place is supposed to be very rich in oil and gas reserves. And any demarcation of a boundary here would have major implications on whom those reserves belong to, who is allowed to explore there, who's allowed to exploit them. So I think that is something that really needs to be understood. India has got a very sound basis for applying where the boundary should be, the deepest navigable part of the creek. The Thalbek principle that General Katoch mentioned. I think Pakistan is just going on some old historical claim saying it should be east of the creek, which is not really, sound in law, in maritime law. So I think we have to this message should go home loud and clear that, and as the Defence Minister has sent this message, do not mess with India in that part of the country. India is more than prepared to tackle them. So if they think that because they can't penetrate India now in Punjab or J&K, this is an alternative area for them to do so, it is not. Pakistan building up its maritime forces there or putting a few more patrol boats, well, that's their business. They can do whatever they please, so long as they keep to their side of it and continue their patrolling. Maybe they see a threat from India. We don't know. Perhaps they do, perhaps they don't. So I think the most important thing, I think, is that Pakistan should not try and open up a maritime front. They will pay a very heavy price for it, as has been brought out. Trident is a classic example. I'm glad you mentioned that, because that would be a reminder to them. And the ultimate resolution of Sir Creek, which hasn't happened for the last 78 years, has implications for many other things in the maritime domain in that area. Our fishermen are constantly detained and arrested by the Pakistanis and vice versa, because unknowingly, most of the time, they just cross over into what Pakistan claims are its waters, and their fishermen come into our waters. And despite the fact that there is no visible malified intent in their doing so, they're just going looking for fish. They're detained for long periods of time, or sometimes arrested, and it becomes a sort of beating point for the other country, saying that we've arrested so many of your fishermen, and then we go and request them to release them, and vice versa. So those are the kind of implications Sir Creek has. But yes, if Pakistan is indeed building up its forces there or building up infrastructure with any kind of intent of, I wouldn't say attacking India, because I don't think they're in a position to attack India, but cause mischief with India, well, they will have to pay a very heavy price for it, I think.
All right, fair enough. So we've run out of time. Appreciate all the guests who joined us and weighed in on this development.